Hello, welcome. I'm Liana Francisco. Today we're going to talk about that fear of falling behind when you have an unschooled child and you are worried that they're falling behind. And don't worry, you're not the only person that's felt this way. I think every unschooling parent has felt this way at one moment or another. But the real question is behind who or behind what or what's the real measures that actually matter. So if you're new here, like I said, my name's Liana and I'm a grown unschooler. I was unschooled from birth until I turned 16 years old and I started attending the local community college. I went on to do quite a bit of school. I have an associate's degree, a bachelor's, a master's degree, but my childhood was school free. And I'm unschooling my own children as well. So I have a unique perspective in this from both sides of the parenting equation. So today let's talk about where this fear of falling behind actually comes from, why it's usually based in a false comparison, and how to tell if your child actually needs your support, and what you can do instead of just, freaking out about the fact that, oh my God, they're behind. So most of you grew up in the school system. So even if you're now unschoolers, you're trained to believe that learning should follow a linear timeline. It should be age-based and you're on track if you can read by this age, multiply by that age, know your state capitals by the time you're 10. I don't know if that's really when kids learn their state capitals because I have never attempted to memorize state capitals. But so when your unschooled child doesn't fit those milestones, that conditioning gets triggered. So, for example, maybe they're reading at 10 instead of 6, or they were doing fourth grade math at 6 years old, but now at 13, you can't get them, away from rock climbing long enough to even look at a math problem. And you start to feel that panic rising in your body. Here's the truth. Those milestones aren't rooted in human development. They're built for classroom management. They need all the kids to be at a similar level so the lessons can go smoothly and the kids don't require one-on-one support. So in the real world, people learn on wildly different timelines. And I did intentionally just say there, the real world, because school is something we've created, right? And it only lasts in childhood and then it's over. And the reality is everybody in adulthood has wildly different skills and abilities, and that's okay. So kids develop individually on their own timelines, depending on their interests, their exposure, and their actual readiness. So when you compare your unschooled child to a school child, you're not comparing apples to apples. A school child might be ahead in memorization, maybe in memorizing multiplication tables, but behind in their critical thinking or self-directed problem solving, behind compared to your child, which doesn't make sense because they have different needs and different experiences all day long. So your child might be, quote, behind in penmanship, but maybe they're already managing an Etsy shop or learning photography or diving deep into, I don't know, world history podcasts. It's like comparing a marathon runner to a gymnast. They're building completely different skill sets for different purposes. This kid in school is building skill sets to be successful in school, and your child is building the skill set to be successful in their life. I'm always reminding parents that you choose unschooling intentionally so your child will have a different path. You wanted to give them time to learn and grow naturally. Unless you're following a curriculum and doing school at home, it is very unlikely that your child is going to fall in line with conventional learning timelines, and that is okay. We can't choose unschooling and then be worried our child can't pass the test administered to the neighbor kids at the end of each school year. We wouldn't attend a chemistry class all semester in college and then be upset that, that you couldn't pass the Western history final that your roommate is taking. You would understand that where your focus goes is where your skills grow, right? And there is plenty of time to build skills needed to be independent learners, where what we focus on is what we get better at. We have plenty of time. So here's Here's the big question. Does your child have an academic area that's causing them trouble in their life right now? So I think it's less about are they behind, are they ahead, but how are they doing? How are they feeling about the skills they need to be successful in their life right now? Are they able to function day to day in the things that they care about? Are they curious, engaged in learning, even if it's not school like? Do they have access to resources, mentors, and opportunities that they might need? If the answer is yes, then I don't think you can say they're falling behind. They're simply learning differently or learning on their own timeline. Now, if you do notice gaps that are limiting them or frustrating them, like struggling to read a game manual or instruction manual they really want to use independently, or needing faster arithmetic skills, maybe fraction skills because they're going to be building, a shed in the backyard or doing some carpentry work, then you can enter and say, do you want some support in building this skill? I notice that you're struggling with doing these fractions as quickly as you want to, and it's frustrating you. But not because of a school deadline, but because it matters to them right now. It's a big distinction for us to be making. So instead of panicking, you can focus on a few things. You can zoom out and remember that learning is lifelong. When your child is 8, 12, or even 16, it's not where they'll be forever, right? I didn't really dig into formal math training until I was 15, and it took me less than a school year to catch up, I say again with the air quotes, and prepare for college level work. It doesn't take very long when a child chooses to focus on something and is given the right resources. So another thing is track real growth. Instead of grade levels, track the skills that they've mastered or made gains in over the last 6 to 12 months. Usually you'll be surprised at how much progress they've actually made in the areas that they're focusing on. Next, you can focus on feeding their passions. So interest is fueled, it's fuel for rapid learning. So if they're really interested in something, they're going to learn it quickly. When they care, they will pick up a skill faster than any curriculum could ever could ever support them in. Another one is ditch the comparison chart. School standards are for schools. Unschoolers thrive when measured against their own progress, not a national average. It really doesn't matter unless your child needs to re-enter school or go to school. It really doesn't matter what their grade level is at any given time on their educational journey because they can learn whatever they want to whenever they want to. And lastly, you need to trust your kid, trust that they can do this, but also stay involved. Unschooling isn't a hands-off thing. It's being deeply present, noticing their needs, and making sure they have the tools to keep growing. Oftentimes, kids need your help building a plan and a schedule to meet certain learning goals. This is a big pet peeve of mine. I'm seeing a lot of unschoolers being like, well, I'm letting them learn how they want to learn. But a 9-year-old might not yet have the ability and skill. They maybe haven't learned yet how they're going to get from point A to point B in a learning journey. They still need your support in learning that skill. So you switch from being the person that's trying to teach them or make them learn something, and you become their coach in gaining a new skill. Your child is not behind. They're exactly where they are. And from here, they can go anywhere. If you've been feeling the pressure of comparison, I want you to remember we're raising humans, not test scores. Your job isn't to keep them caught up with school kids. It's to help them grow into capable, confident learners in the real world, people who are set up to learn new skills for the rest of their lives. So if this helped you at all, take a breath. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel because I need more subscribers. I'm just beginning this journey of posting every single week. And if you want more from me, you can join my school community, SKOOL community, where there's a ton of resources, mini courses, live coaching. It's called the Unschooling Confidence Lab, and there's links to it below. Thanks so much. I'll see you next week.